Good evening, everybody, and welcome to WCFL DolFans Talk. I hope everyone's having a wonderful night tonight. We got a lot to talk about with training camp and everything. Let's go ahead and bring in our co-hosts. Dolphin Winters, how you doing, my brother?
What's going on, brother? How are you this evening?
I'm doing pretty good. Could be better, but could be a lot worse.
Absolutely, definitely. Hey, you ain't never lied. I know.
Let's bring on the queen, Miss Pamela.
Hi, guys.
Hey, Miss Pam.
Hello. My Dolphin brother.
Today?
I'm okay, and I'm happy to see you guys. I'm ready to talk some Dolphin football.
Good.
What's up, Johnny O? I hope you feel better soon, brother. Get well soon, man. We'll see you when you get back healthy, all right?
Hey, Johnny. Feel better.
Yeah, he got a sinus infection, and it went down into his throat, and he hasn't been able to talk, really.
Right.
It's hard to hear about that.
What's going on, brother?
Hey, how's it going, Papa Paul, Dolphin Win, and my sister Pamela? Oh my goodness!
See, I had the link up there for you bright and early, Mr. Paul.
Yeah, there you go.
Brother from another mother.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, I know some of y'all probably seen and read the news on training camp the past few days. My take, especially on Tuesdays, was if they were to cut the 53-man roster right then, Mike White would not be the backup quarterback.
Wow.
He, as far as I'm concerned, he couldn't hit the broadside of a barn Tuesday.
Oh.
Yeah, he was way off. It was Jonnu Smith missed at least 2 passes. There's talk that's saying he wouldn't be cut because of the money and everything in his contract. But you know what? If you're not performing, the money's not going to matter to the coaches and stuff.
Right.
And then Brewer, our new center, that is having a lot of problems.
Oh.
I mean, the ball's getting lost in the hike right there, and then he's also shooting it way high too.
Oh Lord!
I'll say this to that. This is what I'll say to this. I'll say to that. It is training camp, and it's a reason why we have training camp. And this is the time that you need to work on that. Is right now. You need to work on that right now. Get it done. Get it out the way, because we got 3 preseason games to work on that.
And that was my next statement in my comment
that's how I
made on Facebook and everything yesterday, was that I'd rather see it now than later in the games.
I don't know about y'all though. The high snaps give me the heebie-jeebies. We've had a lot of that in recent times, and that is one thing I'm just it's training camp, 100%. That's what it's all about.
And I'd rather see a low snap than a high snap, really.
Me too.
Let's say this. I'd rather see a correct snap than either one.
Well, yeah, but I mean, if it's gonna happen with a high snap, it's getting behind you and everybody's out for it. Where low snap, it's in front of you and you can drop on it if you have to.
Right.
Exactly.
My concern's always been at the center position. So, like John O'Hanlon said, we just gotta wait and see. And
let's shout
out Cap for life down there in the chat room.
And Cap for life, Jamie.
This way, Weber was having such a bad time. They pulled him out and put Eichenberg in there for a bit.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hold
So
on, guys. I'll be right back because I think Michelle is going to get one, and I'm not sure if he's having problems. Hold on. I'll be back.
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a lot of good things I saw. There was a lot of new plays that I did not see at all last year. The thing was they were trying to use a tight end, but Jonnu Smith, he missed at least 2 catches that were right there. He
Oh,
should
that's
have
not
had them.
right.
And it was like he had grease in his hands or something. Ryan AP, how you doing, my brother? Yes, the quarterback center exchange definitely needs to be improved upon. Maybe we'll bring Connor Williams back. He's still available from what I know. And
Really? Okay.
And
I mean,
also,
but there was talk, I think they didn't sign him right back immediately because there was talk about him retiring. But apparently he's looking at some other teams as well now, too. So,
yeah,
Wow.
so the severity of his injury wasn't as bad as we thought, because that's what my concern was, that because of his severity of the injury, he was talking about retirement. But if he's getting better, hey, why not?
yeah.
Wow. Yep. Sounds like
Yeah,
you dodged a bullet, right? With that.
with that injury, yeah.
Yeah.
I would love to have him back because he knows the scheme.
Yeah,
And when he was in, he was killer. Chop Robinson is looking tough, and a big
Oh,
jump from last year's Ethan Bonner.
oh my goodness.
He is he's looking really good out there. Even Waddle had something to say about that. He said Ethan Bonner has made the biggest jump from last year than anybody.
That's good, because the the speed that Waddle and Tyreek have.
Yeah,
You got that
and
on the
that's where
defense.
he is. I watched him break up a couple passes between Waddle and Hill.
nice.
So
That's so nice.
Good grief.
I
love
mean, but and then one thing I like that I did see is that they actually tried, and I don't know if he actually caught it, if it was inbounds, because it's training camp. When he hit the ground, and then of course released the ball right as he was getting up and everything. So I don't know if it was a completed catch or not from the angle I was on, but it was a 30-yard pass or more to Javon Chan.
Wow. Wow.
So they're looking at using him in some of those pass plays as well.
And that's the thing, right, Papa Paul? Shaking it up.
Yeah.
Just doing all the different things. Don't get pinholed into this or that. Shake it up. We got so many talented players. Shake it up. Let them show all their talents. That to me is one of the most exciting things that you've said about training camp, is that there's different plays. They're doing different things with different guys. That's what I want to see.
Well, something else. Jalen Wright's hot, our new running back, but if you read the article, he got into it with Kader Kohu during training camp.
Yeah.
But it was nice to see, as Hill had said. He goes, he's happy to see it. You get into a scuffle, you break it up, and you're done with it. You go on. You're not worrying about it. He goes, we're going to be the bullies now. Hill said, we're becoming the bullies.
I want to see him be the bullies.
And Callis Campbell, I mean, he's going to be a leader out there on that defense, because he even brung in the defense in a huddle and was, getting on to him about, come on, we got to be the dogs. I see us having a lot of dogs in the fight this year, unlike last year.
I love that. And when you're talking about getting in a scuffle, I mean, that means you're being passionate. And you know, when they're doing that, they're in the heat of the moment. But when they walk away, you know, they have mad respect for each other because that's my teammate, and he is being a dog. A dog knows a dog. I love that.
John Featherland, good evening, my brother.
Hey, John.
What's up, John?
Welcome to the panel, Mountie.
Hey, Mountie.
How you
Hey,
doing,
how's it going, you guys? How y'all doing?
Good, good. How are you?
DW, how you doing?
He's on the phone with trying to get
Okay. Yeah, how you guys doing?
We're doing good.
Yeah, we're hanging tough, man. Glad to see you.
Yeah, it's I've been trying to get camp reports where I can get them, whether it's Papa Paul or TD or whoever's
Well,
there.
I tell you right now, TD has the best camp reports. He gives you play-for-play reports. He types them all down in his notes on his phone and everything, and he gives you play-for-play reports, and he's the most accurate. So I just tell you what I see and what I feel.
Okay. Yeah, I'm starting to see I'm hearing a lot of buzz about Chop Robinson. He's a speed demon off that edge.
Yeah, Chop's been hammering it up. And like I just said, Ethan Bonner, Waddle has praised him that he has made the biggest jump from last year.
And here's the thing about last year, it was Tyreek that was talking about Ethan Bonner.
Mm-hmm.
So now for Waddle to say that in training camp, like I said, that's a good sign. That's want to see progression, especially when you got a guy that got that speed that you see on the offense. Now you got it on the defense.
Yep. And to go in there and mix it up with those two guys, Mr. Polk, you think about that. That is not a guy that has any fear. He's going to go in there. He's hanging with two of the best in the league. So that's just amazing.
Exactly.
What's going on, Mountie? I'm trying to help out, trying to get a guest on. I told him to just look up the WCFL Dolphins Talk on YouTube. Paul, just post the links up again one more time, and I'll see if he can sit there and get on that way.
Hey, DW, hey, are you on Twitter on X?
Yes, sir.
I gotta send you something. And even Papa Paul too. I gotta send you something.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah, we're both on Twitter.
I'm under Saul_Winters. You'll see my photo. You'll see everything.
I need you guys, Miss Pam. I'll send it to you. I need you guys' wisdom. It's probably I'm looking at probably about 100 years of wisdom right here.
Oh, brother,
100%.
Lewis, welcome to the show, Lewis. How you doing, brother?
What's up, dude?
Hey, winners, Papa Paul, Miss Pam, Mountie, Mr. Paul, salute. How's everybody doing tonight?
I mean, we're doing great, and I feel like a superstar just entered the room because you're like a hard guy to get in touch with and try to get on the panel sometimes.
I agree.
Understand family comes first, and you know that. I already know that with you. You always take care of fam first, and then play second. So I respect that about you right from the door.
Hey, man, I always be a little nervous to come up here, man. This is the big time over here, man. I love what you and Mr. Papa Paul do over here, man. So I get a little gun shy when I come up here, but
oh man, you know what? It's because of you and Shake and El Capitan is why we're here.
Yeah, and Caller and Crypto.
hey, y'all put out great work over here, and again, there's a lot of people in the community that put great work out, and the things that you, Papa Paul, and Dolphin Winners, and again, people that come up here like Miss Pam and Mr. Paul on a religious standpoint, like almost every episode. That's what makes this show great. So I'm just glad to be a part of it. And what's good?
I'm excited. Wait, listen, football is back.
Lou was good.
That's what's good. Football is back, ladies and gentlemen. That's the greatest thing. We got a preseason game tomorrow night. We play next week. How much better can it get?
I can smell it. I can smell it right here.
Because I'm going to be watching
It tastes good. Trust me.
college football.
I don't know if you caught any of the show before you jumped on, Lewis, or not. I was saying at camp yesterday, as far as I was concerned, if they was to do a 53-man cut yesterday, Mike White would not be the backup quarterback. Out of the last 3 days of training camp, especially yesterday, Mike White couldn't hit the broadside of a barn yesterday, it seemed like.
Oh, what a difference a year makes. Wow. Hey, Lou.
That is my opinion.
Hey, Lou.
What's good, Manny?
Hey, in the spaces, man, they was hitting me above the head and neck when I was talking about Skyler's. Hey, he can be in there. But now look how the tables have turned.
Mm-hmm.
What do we mean by in there?
Well, he started. I think he can take his rightful place as a backup to Tua.
Yeah, well, and even
Absolutely.
even TD said that, because I was sitting up yesterday. I was sitting up at the top with TD, and we were discussing things as they were happening. Jonnu Smith yesterday, people say he ain't going to be cut because of the deal we got for him. But if he can't catch a ball like he couldn't yesterday, he ain't going to be on the team.
Listen, free crap is still crap. Just saying.
Well, I think for me, when it comes to Jonnu Smith, right, like it, especially from yesterday, we all heard it was kind of a bad day. I'll come at it, and this is the first time I actually heard it. It's not my take. I'm gonna give Finsanity. I just heard her say it. She was on the episode tonight with Marissa Moreno. Shout out to those ladies. But Finsanity brought up a very interesting point. If you look at Jonnu Smith's career, he hasn't played with let's say the best kind of quarterbacks. And what I'm saying is not from like an arm throwing or velocity or anything like that. But one of the things we hear about Tua, it's about anticipation and accuracy, right? And again, reports that I've heard and talked to some people that were at training camp, it was like by the time it just felt like the ball was getting to Jonnu Smith as soon as he was coming out of his break, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like he wasn't getting his head turned around fast enough. For a person like me, I'm going to chalk that up. I think Tua is seeing him open before he realizes he's open, right? Like he's coming out of his.
There's a possibility. No, I was going to say there's a possibility on one of those plays, but I know one for sure. He was in a stretch. It went through his hands. He just couldn't grab hold of it.
Right. Well,
too much partying in Miami. That's what it is. He partying too hard down here.
He probably doesn't have. See, Tua is a different type of passer, different type of talent. So it's going to take more repetitions with him. Because we already know Jonnu Smith can play ball. It's Tua is just a gunsling, kind of like,
Right now, in my opinion, I would really want to see them bring Connor Williams back. Because right now, there's a lot of trouble between center and quarterback. And not just with Tua, it's with all three of them.
Right. I think when you think about it, though, and I think it was Teron Armstead that had the interview after yesterday's practice, and he mentioned that he talked to even Tua about it. The snapping issues, Connor Williams had snapping issues as well. Like we've seen Liam Eichenberg go in there, he's had snapping issues. I just think that's a correctable fix. I'm not too worried about it.
Yeah, and like we said earlier, I'd rather see it now than during a regular season game.
Yeah.
And also,
it's about repetition.
Yeah, and yesterday though was so bad. I mean, so bad. It wasn't just one or two. There was quite a few, and I mean, not just close up, but when he's in the backfield and they're being high. And I mean, there was one point in time they took him out and put Eichenberg in there for a few plays.
They gave him a timeout.
Yeah, I think they'll be fine. I think that's training camp woes. Even last year when Connor Williams first got back, we were hearing the same thing. I'm not.
Yeah,
that's not a real big concern with me.
I'm just saying, it's what I've seen. I'm just trying to report what I've seen because I've been there all week.
Absolutely, right.
And to me, we have Butch Berry, who's done wonders with the offensive line.
Yeah,
absolutely. And I think, see, for Connor Williams, I think because for one, he was top 5 in the league at his position. Granted, yeah, he did have a season injury. See what it is. I still think it's going to come down to the bread. Like he still feels that he wants to get paid. So, and that's the thing. I think Greer is not probably willing to pay him what he's asking for, especially coming fresh off an injury.
Well, he's either going to take what we're going to give him, or I don't know if anyone else is going to pick him up.
That's right.
Yeah.
And if you haven't heard, Ethan Bonner has been jumped yards ahead of last year. He's 10 times better than last year, they're saying. Welcome to the panel, John Featherland.
Yeah. Thank you.
I like what I've been seeing the last 3 days at training camp because I saw a lot of new plays on offense, a lot of plays that we didn't see last year. And it looked like Coach McDaniel's trying to implement the tight end some. We got tomorrow, we got training camp, and then Friday training camp is Members Day. Then Saturday is a scrimmage inside the stadium.
And who's to say if McDaniels have more players that he's not going to unveil? Training camp or preseason. So, like I said, it's going to be very interesting.
Yeah.
Well, here's the elephant in the room in the news today. How do you guys feel about Snead coming in?
That's right. I shared that with you.
Veteran experience. He's a veteran and
wide receiver Snead. Where'd he come from, Saul?
Baltimore, if I'm correct.
Yes, that's right.
I think San Francisco also.
Yeah,
but he was at Baltimore last.
He's been a couple places. Yeah, I don't know.
He's a veteran, so maybe he can, like I said, share
a lot of wide receivers.
Well, yeah, we have a lot of wide receivers, so it's going to be interesting to see who's out and who's in.
Yeah, someone's going to be out.
31 years old.
There's probably going to be a couple people out. As we're speaking right now, right? I think for me, Willie Snead is just a camp body as of right now.
Yep.
Now, 2 weeks from now, who knows, right? But I just think
at the time
there could be some writing on the wall. Hey, Papa Paul, I think we have an imposter. I don't really know who that is. On the panel.
We have a mischievous one that's missing that purple coat, that pimp jacket.
Oh, hold on a second.
Oh, shucks, he's gonna bring it out.
Yeah, well, while he's getting that, I guess purple jacket again. I just want to say for the record, I have no idea who the hell that is.
But I'm like this guy.
Well, hold
like
up, Lou. I am your father. I am your father.
I think so, Raphael. I really do think that's right. If OBJ is not ready, they're bringing in Snead just in case. So I think that is for insurance, maybe.
Well, and also when you think about somebody like Snead, so maybe he doesn't make it to the roster, but just even in training camp, he's, like we said, he's got that veteran experience. He's gonna. Some guys are going to learn some stuff from him. So, let him do his thing. See what happens.
So I got to wonder this about the addition of Snead, and I haven't even been able to talk on it. But Eric Ikuzama, bye. Like he's done, right?
Yeah.
He ain't making this roster.
Yeah. Agreed.
Like, and probably Taj gets carried as like the protected, like deactivated for the whole year guy. I think
Maybe, yes.
I think Malik Washington makes the final 6. OBJ going to be on the 53. So
Right.
that it's not like he's going to take his spot. They're not going to deactivate OBJ like that. So to me, that's Eric Ikuzama. I mean, what has he done? He hasn't been able to solidify himself. He's made it, some practice squad stuff here and there in preseason. He's a goner, bro. He's a goner if this guy Snead comes in and hits the ground running, knowing this type of style.
If I'm correct, the biggest play he had was against San Francisco, and I think that was the touchdown we had in the beginning of the game against San Fran at San Fran. So, and he's had a couple plays here and there, but he hasn't been consistent. You're correct on that. You don't want to see him go, but hey, listen, I know there will be another team that can use him, definitely.
Or
not. Or not, because he's got to be more consistent. There was so much excitement around him, and it just didn't really pan out too much.
He's supposed to be the Debo guy. He's supposed to be the Debo guy.
Yep. And it just didn't really work out that way. So I'm with you, Cap. I think he's probably going to be odd man out.
Well, we always hear about the stories in the NFL, right? About guys that they don't work out in their current situations and they just need a new change of scenery. Just throwing it out there, right?
That's true.
Could Eric Ikuzama be a trade piece if Miami was looking to maybe make a move? I'm just throwing it out there.
The offensive line.
Yeah, that's very possible. Another one, I'll tell you, as far as our running back go, I see Ahmed's going to be gone. I tell you, Jeff Wilson's been fighting for his position.
Ooh. Jeff Wilson's hard to keep off this football team, man, because he's just a nitty gritty guy. He catches well out of the backfield, and here's the deal: Ahmed always, every start of every season, Ahmed's been here. He looks good, and he's fast. The second a hand is laid on him, he doesn't move. He has zero power to break tackles, to break through arm tackles. Every time someone puts a hand on him, he goes down. Couple that with the injuries and the nicked up here, and anything takes all that speed, it doesn't work out. Once he's a little nicked up with this and that, they love to keep him. He's still young. He came into the league at barely 20 years old. He just turned 20, so he's still a young guy. To me, it's pretty simple, and I did an episode a little bit back, breaking down positions and stuff like that, and camp battles was the episode. And to me, when it comes down to like the final guys in a position group, so we'll say Ahmed, Chris Brooks, Jeff Wilson, these three guys, they're only going to keep one.
Yeah.
Which one? If you put Jeff Wilson on the waiver wire, he's signed in minutes.
Yeah.
There's a couple teams that would pick him up instantly. If you put Ahmed, there's probably some teams. Chris Brooks, I don't know if there's any teams calling him up. You know what I'm saying? And that's just how you have to look at it. I know that's how Dolphins fans feel. I like Chris Brooks too, but Papa Paul, I do too.
I was going to say something I saw in practice in camp yesterday which was the talk of. Oh, here comes another one. Shake Money.
Hey, Shake.
That is.
Hey,
I figured out.
We got the TFTG WCFL connection tonight with the unificator in the room.
By the way, I figured out why they call him El Capitan, because he be showing up on Cuban time.
Well, first of all, I already let Papa Paul know I probably wouldn't get here till about 9, so I'm literally, my shirt is still wet with sweat from football practice. So, like,
Prasad, I don't know.
That's dedication,
brother.
Yeah, I don't know.
Shout out to El Capitan.
Definitely. Shout out to Fashad. Fashad actually works for the Miami Dolphins. We were trying to get him on tonight to talk to the people about the way things are how things go at the Miami Dolphins Stadium and the detail and all that good stuff. But he's having issues trying to get on the StreamYard. So, Fashad, if you can work on that, maybe for next week, we can have you on next week, and we can definitely have you on. And plus, we're on Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. So, definitely.
Now, what I was
Word up,
starting to say is there was an
Salute.
article not too long ago about Achan and how he wanted to be used more in the passing game and stuff. Well, yesterday there was a play and it was a sideline pass. I can't say if it was a completed pass because of the angle I was on, and I was on the lower ground. I wasn't up in the stand at the time, but it was a good, I say 20, 30-yard pass, not a side, not a screen pass or anything like that. It was a good 20, 30-yard pass. And as far as I'm concerned, my angle, it was a catch. But I can't say with being he was right there at the sideline and stuff like that. But
yeah, we seen they had that play. They released it. I seen it on Twitter. Actually, I seen it a couple places. With the way the game is played now and the way it's called, the rules, like I'm with you, Papa Paul. Like back in the day, that's for surefire. That's a catch.
Yeah.
With the new rules now, unfortunately, that would have been ruled an incompletion in a real live game. They would have either challenged it or they would have took a look at it. And according to the rules, it wouldn't have been a catch.
And that's where I was a little bit iffy because I know he let go of it right as he rolled over and stuff. So I don't know if he did that on purpose or what.
Well, I think Cater Kohu was on coverage on that play, and I think Cater did a pretty good job of kind of like, I don't want to say ripping it out, but he did get his hands on the ball. Regardless of anything, I'm just saying, according to the rules, I don't agree with it, but yeah, that they would have ruled that an incompletion.
Yeah. Well, and to go along with what you're saying, Lewis, the thing is it also depends on how it was called on the field. A lot of times if they call it a catch, unless you can 100% say it wasn't, we know how that works. So, it just depends on how it was called on the field. But a lot of these things that they're throwing in there, they're getting so nitpicky with some stuff. And some things I understand, but sometimes it's like if your next door neighbor had pizza on Tuesday, it's not a catch. They just got all these little things in there. I mean, they're spending too much time making it down to micro things when it used to be a catch. It's a catch.
And remember about almost a year ago, we were like almost close to this time about a year ago, and me and you had a conversation before the season started, and I said sports betting had a lot to do with a lot of the results of all sporting events, not just football. I am telling you this, and I am saying this all.
Easy
sports
now.
Betting,
Easy now, winners.
Hey, I'm going to keep it a bean. Listen, we're going to keep it 100. We're going to keep it a
true, though. You're right.
Look. We're going to keep it 100. Sports betting as a whole has changed the dynamic on the outcome of games in today's sports. I'll take responsibility. You can see it. You can clearly see it. People are doing things on the field, which is definitely it's explainable. Ain't nobody. Stevie Wonder and Ray Charles could see some of the shit that goes on. Come on. Like nobody, it's really to a point. It's blatant. And we've seen it. We probably all have sat in front of our television screen and watched either our favorite basketball, baseball, whatever team, and you've seen some outlandish shit that that wasn't right.
It wasn't right. And one of my best examples is Barrios. And the catch they called a not catch said it wasn't a first down. And literally Chris Collingsworth said, well, I think the ball has to be on the green. It can't be on the white. It has nothing to do with where the ball is. It has everything to do with where your feet are.
Hello?
Hey. Hello.
I do. Stop touching stuff.
I didn't give up, guys. I was.
Praise God.
All right.
Yeah. Hey man, hey, listen. You're saying the
Welcome
referees
to
are
the
buying
panel,
pay-
Rashad.
Are you saying the referees are buying paid for? Next thing you know, you're gonna tell me the politicians are bought and paid for too.
Oh.
That's the name of the podcast.
Yeah.
Hey,
These
that
conspiracy theorists.
As far as the
that
playoffs go, in playoffs, I bet you they wanted to go 7 game, or let's say in a basketball or hockey, they want the game to go 7 games all the
Yeah.
way,
They don't want to
so they
lose
get
that
money.
revenue.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
that's crazy. I heard Dolphin winners say that Ray Charles and Stevie Wonder could even see what's going on. I would trust their assessment rather than El Capitan's eyes, because that man.
Now we know this man's capping. Now we know this man's capping. Now we know this man's capping.
Again, all I'm trying to do is still figure out who the hell that is on the panel. That's all I'm trying to do.
That's all right.
Listen, all I need is my popcorn. Mm.
Hey man, I love Cap, man. I'm just playing, man. Cap's my
Lou
guy,
getting
man. I
at
love
it.
Cap.
Lou getting at it. I'm sucking wind, Lou. I'm still tired from practice. These kids had me working. Once I get some oxygen back in the brain, I'm gonna get you. Get some oxygen back in the brain.
That might be tomorrow, though, El Cap.
Yeah,
That might be
right? I know, right?
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I wanted to see how long I got for Shad for. So I wanted to first welcome him to the panel, and I wanted to sit there and have him explain what would be going on in this year's events going on up to the first preseason game coming up next week, and that is against Atlanta, correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Right. So the floor is yours, my friend.
You need your pillowcase?
Great to be here. Sorry, I'm talking about Cuban time.
That was just an extra one?
Even though I live in North Cuba, so to speak.
Okay.
I had a chance to listen to some of you guys. I hear great things about the show, and it's an honor to be here. As not only a diehard fan, but as an employee, a dedicated employee. I still got the color, as you can see, from being blazing hot out there. I mean, there were some great things. There were other things that need to improve on. Like, there were a lot of fumbled snaps, but only training corrected can be rectified.
Somebody got their TV on in the background. Somebody got to turn their TV on in the background.
Yeah.
Someone's got something on.
Yeah, somebody either go on mute, please, because we can barely hear them.
Oh, no.
All right, we can hear you. We can hear you.
Okay.
You sound better now.
Oh, good. Yeah, I don't know. I heard a lot of noise there. What all I was saying was, I just got some color from working on the training camps, and I overheard some things when I was trying to get in. Sorry, I was a little late talking about Cuban time. Technology these days can be a real pain. I have to finally join in. I wasn't going to give up. I was trying my darn to get in there, and thankfully I was able to finally get in. I heard some things about fumbled snaps. There are definitely some good things I saw out there in camp, and there are other things that could definitely be worked on, can be fixed in time for the preseason, which starts on August 9th. Not this Friday, but the one after that against the Falcons. And I look forward to my 12th season as an usher for the team. So, I'm just happy to be here, not only as a diehard fan, but as a dedicated employee as well. And I'm looking for many more times here.
Good.
I love the fact that we have Papa Paul's eyes that were at training camp today. Your eyes at training camp because you're an employee, and to whoever else has been covering, which I know these gentlemen been covering it all day, every day. They put in work in. I want to shout the Fence Tailgate as I got the majority of the cast on here. And a lot of Miami Dolphin content creators are putting their work in. TD, Dougley, Reason. I can go down the line. Miss Fins, everybody, check them out. If we can't give it to you, I know somebody else will. And we just all have our own interpretations of what we see on an everyday basis. So,
if we can't give it to you, you don't need it.
Facts. That's facts.
There you go.
So I'm just happy to have everybody up here tonight. I really do. That is true. I love the fact that we have up here tonight and every night, definitely. And Papa Paul, I see you over there quiet and chilling. I hope you're good.
Yeah, I'm fine. You got the TV. My aunt's watching TV, so I'm just trying to keep mute. Everything's the camp. There's a lot of good things I saw as well. I'm just listening to everybody. We did lose Lewis, so I guess El Capitan scared him off or something.
That's right. He knew I was getting my second wind. He knew I was going to come with that heat. Got to scare him
and
out of here.
We got to set up Blues. If you're still listening, brother, I would love to have an episode with you. I know you're a busy man, but I would just love to have an episode with you on here also.
Don't nobody want to watch that. Don't nobody want to watch that, winners. Ain't nobody going to show up for that week show. All that yelling. Nobody want to hear that.
No. You know we don't do that on here. You know what's chill on here, bro.
Not unless you're giving out prizes. You better give out prizes, otherwise nobody will be here.
That's right, Miss Pam. That's right.
Oh, definitely. But I mean, I love the fact that we're having the issues that we're having now because we need it to happen now. It's a process.
Yeah.
This is what we need to happen now, so we know what to fix. We have preseason games to work on this, so I'm not stressing or worrying about it as of now. I'm not.
Well, and for those of you who didn't hear, there were some people I know at the end of the training camp didn't know who, quote, caused the fight or scuffle at the one play at training camp yesterday. It was actually Jalen Wright and Kohu. But like Hill says, he loves seeing it because he goes, there's fight out there. Then that means they're ready to be the bullies that we need them to be.
It's not just a practice game, right? It's not just practice to them; they're taking it for real.
Some of these guys' job depends on it. They got to show up in every way they can. I mean, this is at all levels. Camp means we got to see what you got, and if you can't understand what we're coaching, if you don't run your plays, right, if you're asking questions, you're dilly-dallying around, you don't want to lose the rep either. You get frustrated, so it's going to get chippy. These guys know what time it is. Jalen Wright wants to, get his snaps. He wants to prove what he is. Cater Kohu, he's been out here proving this rookie ain't nothing. You know what I'm saying? But Cater Kohu knows there's guys looking at it and take his job. Cater Kohu wants some security. It's not like he's a long-term signed answer for the Dolphins at the nickel or in the slot there on corner. So everybody's got something to fight for. And, we talked a little bit about it. Ramsey mentioned it a little bit for you guys that didn't hear. He's talking about us having a little bit more dog in us, having a little bit more fight. And hopefully this is the beginning of that. And hopefully with
being
the change
the bullies
of Weaver, hopefully with the change at Weaver at defense, that mentality follows. Because I felt like we had it back when we had Brian Flores around here, but we didn't have the other part. We figure a way to have this offense with that type of attitude defense, and guys playing fast and loose. We doing.
And I want to piggyback off of what you said, El Capitan, because somebody mentioned why don't we get the respect that we're supposed to the media and everything. And I said this, and I quote: "Until we sit there and start winning the games that we are not supposed to win, we sit there and start dictating the pace. We make teams play our football game. We sit there and make teams get uneasy and uncomfortable. We're the ones that make them feel that way because of our style of play. Until we can do that in November and December, then we'll start getting the respect from all the social media outlets and all the media and ESPNs and the FS1s and all the talking heads. I mean, listen, I want a couple of haters to still say, well, it is the Miami Dolphins, so they'll sit there and find a way. And I want to sit there and prove them wrong. Until we are able to do that, we are who we are. We are the 2024 Miami Dolphins, and that's what we are right now. And until we sit there and show that we're the big dogs, and here's the thing, we got 2 games to prove it. Week 1, to prove who the best team in the AFC in Florida is, and week 2 against our division rival. Period.
Yep.
And kind of
look,
go ahead.
Real quick, Mr. Polk. Simple. Respect is always earned.
Yeah,
It ain't just given. It's always earned. And now there's certain people that will never respect you. But you want to know what success looks like, look at all the haters you got. Because people who are not successful, ain't nobody hating on that. So if you either have their respect or their hate, you're doing it right, baby. You're doing it right.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Mr. Polk.
Just like her.
Go ahead. If I may say something real quick, Mr. Polk,
Okay,
sorry. A perfect example is look how many people disrespected the Lions until last year. You know what I'm saying? The Lions had to make it to the NFC Championship before they're still not fully respected yet, but they're getting there. They're in that they're heading towards that direction. But go ahead.
They are respectable.
They're respectable. Yeah, they are respected. Yeah. Trust me. Nick, I'll be honest with you. You better put respect on the name because I'll be honest with you. I talked to one of my podiatrists actually is a Detroit Lions fan, and he actually walked me through what he went through. And if I can get the same doctor, I'll try to get him on the show actually one time so he can tell the story about that. But when he sat there and described the feelings that he was going through, he said he didn't regret anything. He said, we played like this all season long. So it was like a live by the sword, die by the sword mentality. So he wasn't mad at the coach for making the calls that he did. He wasn't mad for him going on the fourth downs. He wasn't mad. It's just the fact of the matter, they just couldn't capitalize and like shut down San Fran. That was the problem. So he wasn't upset about it, but he said it hurt because he said they was right there. And he said, we've never been to the Super Bowl in I think the history of our franchise.
Right.
No, think about that. And they made it to the NFC Championship game. So
and what I wanted to bring up is look at the New England Patriots years back. All them years that they dominated our division and what have you. So, can we do a similar thing? Yes. But we got to make that move. Because
we got to start in house, like I just said. It has to start within the organization. It's got to start on that practice field. It's got to start right there. That mentality has got to be an everyday mentality. You can be old Joe Smo after work or after practice or whatever, but once you clock in, once you walk through them doors, it's all business. It's all dog. It's like no disrespect, but I got that dog in me. I ain't trying to be rude. I ain't trying to be upset. I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but I got a goal and I got a goal in mind, and that's where the mentality's got to be. Once you have that mentality, that spreads throughout the locker room. Everybody will adapt to it. You have Super Bowl winning position players in that locker room, so they know what that taste feels like. They want to sit there and have this team make it to that next level, but everybody's got to be on the exact same page. It can't be a cliquish over here or this person doing this. It's got to be we're all in together. Once they do that, and I think once they show us as fans, not just in September, not just in October. I am talking about from the Raiders game, if I'm correct, the Green Bay game, Thursday Night Football, and straight on. That's how it's going. Straight up. That's where it is. We will find out preseason what we look like, and then we will see what we look like as we go forward. But until then, we are the 2024 Miami Dolphins. That's it.
Well, that's an interesting point that you brought out about the attitude, the big dog attitude. As a competitive person, that's not something I ever shut down. I don't know how you're a professional athlete or have been a college athlete, an athlete on a high level. How would you not have that? We shouldn't have to talk you into it. That should just be who you are.
Somebody's done competitive sports. I've been in pressure situations before. I've wrestled in high school. I was the captain of the wrestling team. I bowled in high pressure situations and had a 299. I know what it is. So what it comes down to is this, Pam, it's a mental thing. You have people that are naturally gifted. You know this from being a dance teacher, being a dance instructor. You know this. You have girls that are they got this, that, and they don't have to do no work. They're just naturally gifted to do that. Like people in school. You got people that just go to school, look at the teacher, listen to what the teacher say, don't study, and they got a 4.0. They're just naturally gifted where they don't have to put that work in. Then they feel they can just go out and do it, and it's like, okay, it's no problem. But then there's going to be a point in time where you're going to have to work at it, and that gift is going to start to dwindle, and then you're going to have to make that decision within your mental. So it's a whole mental and psychological thing. So where is that going to go with these gentlemen? We don't know. We don't know what's in their minds. We don't know what's going on in their lives. But I know this, for us to be that team that they talk about all around the world, we're going to have to be that team. We're going to have to be that team, not just in the first 4 weeks and not just in October. We're going to have to be that team, even with losses. Because I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, I know everybody wants another perfect season. I'm not saying it's not possible, but stop it. We're going to have some losses during the season where we're going to be upset about them, and I already know that.
Always,
But as long as they give their effort, I can kind of forgive some of the things they will do along this season. That's all I'm going to say.
And that includes cold weather also.
Yes, it does.
Yes,
Exactly,
it
Mr.
does.
Paul.
Cold weather.
Exactly.
I was
I don't
thinking
like
the same thing.
I don't like using that, and I understand that cold weather does have a physical effect on these players, but if you really want to make it to the promised land, you have to find a way to overcome it. I mean, it, is it just a mental thing? Maybe, maybe not. But if you want to win, you will find a way to get it done. Cold weather, warm weather. If it's raining, you'll find a way to do it. Other teams
Well,
have.
yep. And if you don't think the weather matters, ask Buffalo 2 years ago, where they're crying to the heavens. It's hot. It's hot. It does
They got
affect
away
you.
with it. They got it
Let them
because
move to another stadium.
because this year's game, the second week, is a night game. I bet you that you can't sit there and tell me that they didn't bitch and whine about the
Of
whole thing.
course. Of course.
1,000%.
Say something about it to say, hey guys, we want a night game. We don't want to be here in this heat. So, I hate that. I hate that double standard. It's like we have to go up into the cold. We deal with it like men.
Yeah.
But they bitch about it. That's not right.
And I agree with you, Farshad. I agree with you 100% that they probably whined and they got what they wanted because that's how it's been for them in recent years. On the other hand, Florida at night, 99% humidity, even if it's only 80 degrees, 99% because that humidity is worse at night. They think they're getting on with something. I think they ain't getting what they think they're going to get. What they're going to get is smacked down hot all over again. It's bad.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because the heat is miserable.
It is, and that when the sun's out, it's horrible. But when the sun goes down, it gets more humid. It's 99% right now. I can look at my little weather station over there. It's telling me it's 99% humidity. If it just rained and it's 75 degrees outside and it's 99% humidity, you think it's 90 degrees because it feels bad.
Oh, don't worry. I'll be prepared. Trust me on that one. Oh, man. It's different down there.
Because the other day it rained in the afternoon and until the night, and then when it stopped raining, the temperatures went from the 70s to around 82, 83 down here.
Yeah.
So, like I said, you have to be prepared for it. I mean, and then just like I said, the same thing applies up north. So what I'm trying to say is that if you really want to win, you will find a way to do it. Whether you're dealing with the heat, whether you're dealing with the cold, whether you're dealing with wet weather, you'll find a way to win if you want to win as a team.
Yeah.
Well, I think Prasad can just tell you, like I seen, we have a lot of new players that are bringing the dog to the fight.
We need that. We need
Callis Campbell for one, and we all know that Chubb had the fight in him last year. We seen it. It just, you can't be the only one. Everyone's got to have it.
Yeah.
But to watch these guys, I mean, watching these guys on the field the past couple days, the defense is definitely something different than what I've seen in the past few years. And I'm liking
it starts with the coordinator. Because looking back now, I don't like Fangio and his style and his fossilized, if you will, schemes. The players didn't like him. That tells you something right there. They still talk bad about him to this day. So now they're giving rave reviews to Weaver, and that's a factor. That's a huge factor. They're going to play hard for him. They're going to run through walls for him. Our defense is going to be even better this year. So that will complement the offense, and you can't expect anything less. You might have a better record than last season. So
Yeah, I heard it's going to be like the Ravens defense
yeah.
style.
Okay,
So
real quick. I'm sorry. These shirts, which I had made up, I had 130 of them made up. All of them, except for a handful of them, are gone. I was able to get at least 100 of them straight to the lady in charge to make sure they get to the team.
that's so cool. I'm so glad you did that.
Those shirts are going to the team. If you haven't heard or don't know about them, it's peace, love, fins up, family on the front, and on the back, it's we are family, united we stand, with all the different clubs and individuals that donated for the shirts to get done.
I want to shout out Mr. Deshaun Allen for getting them shirts to the teammates. Definitely shout out to him. It's an honor for him, honor to get him them shirts, man. I appreciate that.
Let me reiterate on it, as he will tell you, which he corrected me on my post. He just got them to the powers to be. But if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have been able to know who to get them to.
Right.
So he does deserve the respect for helping me out on getting them to the right person.
Absolutely.
He was the perfect middleman.
Yes, sir.
Love working with him.
That's good.
Yeah, Deshaun's a great guy. Prasad, you know Pablo?
He works in the 300 level.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know him.
He knows me real well. I've known him since I've been a season ticket holder for 3 years now. He knows me real well. We talk all the time. It's nice getting to know the people. And if you haven't gotten any, I bring in donuts every day when I go to training camp. I drop them off at the information desk right there in the front as everyone's coming in, and that 2 dozen there, and I put 2 dozen inside the gate of the members gate.
Yeah, I see him. We get him here and to start the shifts during our brief.
Well, I bring them. I'm the first one at the gate every morning, so I'm the first one in the parking lot and everything.
Okay.
That's really nice, Papa Paul.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Well, I do it because it makes me happy, and making people happy makes me happy. So I'm just having fun. I'm having a blast down here. I'm enjoying every bit of it. Get to see my favorite aunt on top of that.
Cool.
I can't ask for anything better.
That's awesome. So, Farshad, I wanted to ask you, you were commenting on the players and how they felt about Fangio. I mean, to me, it was obvious. Like, you could see he didn't have a lot of respect for the players at all. He wasn't going to change up what he was doing at all to get the best out of his defense. So now you said you're seeing a big difference. So can you comment on that a little bit more about how the players are responding?
Yeah, basically, obviously we're talking about younger players, and in today's NFL, you have to adapt, you have to adjust, especially at halftime. And I don't think that Fangio was good at doing that. He still had his fossilized, old school approach that fortunately doesn't work in today's NFL. So with Weaver being younger, and it wasn't that long ago that he was a player himself, and so he still has that personality in him. So he instills that to the players, and they love it. And I've seen it. I've seen the difference in camp. They're more competitive. They're more they want to run balls for him, day in and day out, and you could just see it right there that they definitely want to bring it their all, put it out there, and the results will show, I think. So, and it'll help them possibly prevent injuries too. Because they play harder and smarter at the same time.
Smarter. Yeah. Well, and I was talking about the competitive edge and the competitive spirit. Like you either have that or you don't. That's really not something you can teach. But I feel like when a coach just isn't going to change what he's doing, that players feel defeated somewhat. Like, that he's not going to change. Like you said, no changes going in at halftime, which just always absolutely. I pitch a fit right over there. I usually pitching a fit, having a cow over it. But so I feel like that takes the guys with the competitive edge and it puts them in a whole new level because they feel like, okay, we can do something with this guy.
Yeah, and then not only that, they'll have fun doing it. The more fun they'll have, they'll be like little kids again, and it'll help prolong their careers, and help them last the whole season without any issues. Because let's face it, we were dropping like flies
Yeah.
this year,
Yeah, it's good.
and I'm thinking,
Yeah.
man, that has a big factor in all that. So I see him out there now. They're looking crisp, and it's really mainly the offense that needs the work as far as snap count, the snaps, pre-snaps,
The offensive line.
but that's definitely something they can fix. They can get going on.
Well, and I know in past seasons when we've had training camps that just looked amazing. Everything was on the ball. Everything was going great. I mean, it didn't turn out that way in the season. You know what I mean? Like, in my line of work, I taught dance. I did competitions and all these things. And when a rehearsal went really well, I was scared. I always was like, "Oh, this isn't good." So these issues, while the snap issues really give me a lot of concern, I feel like we've said, having those issues in camp, that's where you want to have them. It's okay, because when everything goes perfect in camp, it doesn't usually bode well for us. So I like that we're getting it all out.
Yeah.
Well, one more thing in case y'all didn't hear. Yesterday there was 8 different players that were worked out, had workout sessions with the team, and only one guy has been signed so far, and that was the wide receiver.
Right.
Yeah, because I think a couple of them were either cornerbacks or safeties that they worked out.
Yeah. Yes.
And one offensive lineman or defensive lineman, if I'm not mistaken.
I think it was a defensive lineman. Yes.
We got a little bit of fights in here. Somebody's after you about the Yankees, right? Talking with him.
I don't want to talk about that shit. We got swept, man. I was at the game Monday night. I was at that Salaki.
As a Marlin fan, all I can say is you're welcome for Jazz.
Oh,
well, I gotta say real quick. Ryan AP brought up Jason Taylor and Adewale Ogunle. Well, Adewale was actually one of the alumni signing yesterday.
Yeah.
Monday.
And Monday they didn't have any alumni. Sunday they had Terry Kirby and
Wally.
Yeah. And yesterday they had
Wheeler and
yeah.
Had a birthday. Shout out to
Wow.
him.
Wow.
Yeah, Vernon will be on one of our shows probably next week. He wants to do our show. He gave me his phone number, which was really nice of him.
Oh wow.
Awesome.
So
Yeah.
he wants to do one. He's all up for doing our podcast.
I love that.
That's great.
And let me tell you, he's still a big boy.
I could only imagine. And you ain't no, you're a tall drink of water yourself, buddy.
Yeah.
Cap, you don't have to worry about language. I don't care about language on here. We don't necessarily,
Oh no,
unless
no,
it gets
I'm not.
totally.
I wasn't. I
But
wasn't
I
trying
am,
not to swear,
I
dog.
am,
You know, I'll swear
I,
if I need to.
I swear
am,
I will. I swear I will.
That's right. That's
I will
right.
tell you, I am a small cup of tea to a lot of these guys.
I know.
That's saying something too. I mean,
It
that's
is.
saying something.
I remember, you know, one of the guys that shocked me how big he was. You guys remember Juwan James? He was a
No.
monster, dude.
I remember him.
Like, there's a lot of big dudes. Pouncey was big back then, but Juwan James was, what was he, 6'8" or something? He was so big. He was huge, dude. Like he was a
That's
big
where
boy.
that's where
Jakeem
it
Grant.
gets me. You know, we all saw the picture of Patrick Paul, 6'7",
Yeah.
331 pounds. Well, he's all around his rookies who are all small, of course, because you go out there and you got Sealer that's 6'6",
Mhm.
but Calais Campbell is 6'8", 311 pounds.
Yeah.
And he is, I mean, you just look at these guys out there, and then you look at you look at Coach McD himself. It's like if these guys really got pissed off at him, he'd be squashed like a bug.
Oh yeah, totally. As violent as they are, they're very restrained considering, you know.
Yes, most definitely. I agree with you on that.
Yeah. There's some big boys out there. So what have you
Go
been
ahead.
what have you been noticing at camp, Paul? And
A lot of different plays.
Shad. What do you mean a lot of different plays? Some a lot of combinations of things, getting guys mixed in, or what?
A lot of combinations of things, but a lot of new plays that I did not see last year.
That's good.
But
I mean, that's kind of the progression we're hoping in this offense, right?
Yeah, and it was being spread out. I mean, there was runs, there was tight ends being used as well as the wide receivers being used, and then sweeps and different things like that. But it was a combination of different plays and new plays, offensively and defensively.
Yeah, okay, so specifically defensively, I mean, we know we can count on Calais Campbell. We know we can count on, veteran around here, Zach Seiler.
Ethan Bonner has made leaps and bounds over last year.
Bro, I knew Ethan Bonner was a baller when I first seeing him out on the field. The fluidity he has, the game never looked too big for the guy. The speed he's got, I know he's going to be good. I'm really interested in that front line. I know everyone's Chop Robinson, and I get that, right?
Yeah.
First round draft pick. It's going to be some stuff. The athleticism and the speed, all that's there. I'm not going to be able to see so much what he's got until he's got to beat a Teron Armstead in 11 on 11s. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's when I got. That's when I'll know a little bit about the guy.
Well,
but I am interested.
What I've seen with Chop is what I've seen with Chop. He's been on the opposite side of Teron Armstead.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Well, let's not act like Austin Jackson's a walk in the park. He earned himself a deal. He's come a long way. Man, it wasn't that long ago we were worried whether this man was going to be an answer at right tackle or not, whether it was going to work out for him. And look at how that panned out in the long run. He's been solid, consistent, healthy, and I mean, who knows, man? He could be NFL top 100 next year. He continues doing what he's doing, right? But I'm interested on the defensive interior because to me, and I it's one of the episodes I'm going to be doing here in the camp battles. I'm just interested in that depth because we know what this type of defense demands, a lot of rotation pieces. And I understand they'll have some combinations. You'll probably have your speed / power package where if you're going to have two interior defensive linemen, you're going to want Seiler and probably Calais Campbell playing inside there, and then have one of your outside linebackers on each side or something to that extent, right? I know Agba has come back with a vengeance, which I never liked the hate Agba got personally. He had a bad go of it, and there was some defensive coordinator change, and yeah, he got a little overpaid, but I remember that guy. He's strong. He could play the run. So, but not so much the guys like Agba or the ones we do know about. These other guys, all these new interior D linemen, because we just let one go, and I get it, he was a bubble guy anyhow, to sign Snead, but that obviously means there's some guys showing up in the interior on the D line. Anybody stand out to you? Anyone who's been at camp, is anyone standing out in that interior on the defensive line?
Go ahead, Prasad.
Zyler. He's been everywhere.
Well, I expect Seiler to just be the game wrecker he is. In fact, I expect the Dolphins to, at some point during the season, if he continues to do what he's doing, and also to show he's the guy that can fill not just what he's already done, but the void from Christian Wilkins and the snap count, he's probably going to get an extension during this year, right? There's like, we're going to keep this man here.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. He did have the orange jersey on. He did have the orange jersey on.
But I'm thinking about guys like Hand,
Elijah Campbell.
Well, no, yeah, Campbell's been showing up. I'm talking specifically like these other guys that we're gonna need to use. There's Tier Tart, who we got from Houston. There's Deshaun Hand, and I know Deshaun Hand, his measurables, his reach, he's kind of shorter, but he has got a motor like we've seen it before. I know I hear good things coming out. I'm just wondering, is there anything we're not seeing? And now probably maybe you haven't noticed, but maybe now that I asked this question, you'll take a good peek at it tomorrow when they have practice. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'll definitely keep an eye on that tomorrow. The defense itself, all in general, has really been dogging the hell out of the offense.
But that's on par though, right, guys? Like, no matter what you do,
but let's put it. There was one play. The offense did hold the line good enough for Mike White. Of course, he couldn't make a connection.
Great.
But I mean, it was great coverage on the defense all the way around.
All right. Well, then, how about this question?
But I will look at the line tomorrow.
Please do.
Tomorrow and Friday, and I'll get back with you on that.
That would be great, Papa Paul.
Hey,
that would be awesome. I would really appreciate that.
Papa Paul, I have a question because you're at training camp, right?
Yes, sir.
How is Christian Wilkins looking? My bad.
Don't mess with me, Shake Money.
I'm going to answer that for you, Shake. I am going to answer that for you. He's looking fine from my house.
Yeah.
That's an old carpenter joke. That's an old carpenter joke, Mr. Paul or Papa
yes,
Paul.
I know. I used to be a carpenter.
I know you did. We had this conversation before. Yep. How about this question then? Mike White, Skylar Thompson. Is Mike White make this team? Because right now this team is too.
I didn't like what I saw from backups. They look
but it's
so many issues.
No, Mike White, as far as I'm concerned, if they did the 53-man roster today, Mike White is gone.
And it's Skylar Thompson over him. Cheaper option. And I don't think the Dolphins carry 3 quarterbacks like they did last year. You just
Mike
need
White,
yesterday. We need that 53rd guy for a depth piece, whether it's wide receiver, running back, safety. I'm really worried about for the depth. I love Elijah Campbell, so I'm not worried in that aspect, but I'm worried about depth, right?
Depth on safety, I think we're going to be okay because Nick Needham's looking good out there.
Oh, I love Needham. We need him.
But yesterday, my whole time out there, every time I saw Mike White, I don't think he could have hit the broadside of a barn yesterday. Mm-hmm. That's how bad he looked. And I'm being serious. Well, I think I only saw him make let's say 2 out of 10 throws.
Really? Wow, it was really bad then. Because he's usually better than that.
No, he was overthrowing people and everything.
Wow. So I'll say this, right? Well, hold on now. Man, that's kind of I expected them to not carry 3 quarterbacks. You pay Tua, you need to carry 2 for depth piece wise. Nick Needham, safety position. I think we all kind of envisioned him to be what he's been, right? The guy that can play all the levels in the secondary. He can play on the boundary a little bit. and hold it down for some plays. He can definitely play some safety, whether it's in the box or last line of defense, or he can play the slot corner and nickel. He's done good at that as well, which is why he'll be on the roster. But I am just here it is, right? Always early in camp, we know the defense is starting faster. Offense is installing things. Timing is very important. Flow, all that stuff. Defense, they can kind of read and react. You play football long enough and you play a position long enough, you kind of know your deals. Is it man? Is it zone? Where your alignments are and where your leverage needs to be, and then you can kind of play free, right? So defense always typically early in camp starts playing, especially when the pads come on too. They really start lighting it up when the pads first come on. It's towards the end of camp, closer to the 53-man roster cuts, that you start seeing the offense start taking it to their asses, right? So that's a good sign, because Weaver, I'm hoping we're not going to see a slow roll. I think we all anticipate a little bit of time, especially with veterans like Bradley Chubb, Jalen Phillips projected to not be there. So there is going to be a little bit of a learning curve with the new guys and everybody who's now learning a new defense, terminology and all. But if you're telling me they're playing fast, and if we've now down to 9.
Yeah, they're playing well enough that I looked over the schedule, and I could pull up the schedule right now and tell you what games we'll win, what games we'll lose, and we'll be 12-5 at the worst.
At the worst.
That's a bold.
I still want to see what everything looks like before I give any number. I want to see what we're working with first.
We're going to start off. Let me tell you. Let me pull it up real quick, and I'll tell you how we'll start off. I got it right here. Hold on.
We had the way too early predictions on our show a couple months back. I had us with 11 wins.
Well, the last 2 years I said 12-5 the last 2 years, but the last 2 years I did it way too early. I did it around draft time and stuff. We're going to beat the Jaguars and the Bills at home. We're going to beat the Seahawks, the Titans, and the Patriots. We're going to go 5-0. Let me see here. We're actually going to go 7-0, and then we're going to lose the Bills in Buffalo.
Right now, Papa Paul, that's exactly how I had it. I had us going 7-0, and then losing the 8th game, and then only winning, splitting the remaining 8. Remaining.
Well,
9.
we're gonna lose the Packers.
Oh,
I think we're gonna lose to the Texans, and then another one I said we're gonna lose. I think the 49ers, and I actually think we're gonna lose to the Rams. So it'd be 12-5.
I got a funny feeling we might lose to the daggone Indianapolis Colts if we're not careful. Because it seems because I'm going to be honest with you, our history with the Colts is always a barn burner when we play up there in Indianapolis.
Yeah,
so don't sleep on that game. Yeah, don't sleep at that game. Yeah.
I'm just.
It always has been
what I see and what I know.
Yeah. That's don't sleep. I'm gonna be honest with you, everybody. We're gonna have 1 or 2 games that we should have won. We might lose though, because I'm like this. Once we have actual preseason on a regular basis, I got the NFL Plus, and I'm gonna be watching every single game if I can, replays and all, just to sit there and see what everybody is doing, just to see. Because I'm gonna be honest with you. They're not going to play around. They're not going to care about our offensive line and our snappers, our centers not getting things right. They're not going to care about none of that stuff because they're going to hear about the Miami Dolphins and how good this team is, and they're going to sit there and push us. But we got, like I said, I hope we have that tenacity, that fight in us to sit there and say, you know what, enough is enough.
Well, winners, when you a good team beating teams just like last year. When you're the better every time the Kansas City Chiefs can't take their foot off the gas because when you go against them, they know they're the Kansas City Chiefs and you're going to get everything they've got. The Dolphins in the beginning of the year were whipping up on people, and once teams started going, well, we better not take this. Ain't no team to look through, and they started, expecting us. So there is that. I'm trying to pull up the Miami Dolphins schedule right now.
I always say this every year as an employee, but as outrageous as this sounds, I don't care because you got to defend your home field. I always say we go undefeated at home every year because I work there and I make sure to give the best experience to all fans entering my section, and that I know it doesn't always translate on the field, but that's just my persona, my way of thinking. So
I agree, and we were really tough at home, right? Like really tough at home. We played very well, but there were just times, even against Kansas City. I mean, we were the better team, and we let up. We let stuff happen. We outplayed them most of those two games.
Yeah, the Tennessee game we blew. But,
oh gosh,
that was awful.
3 minutes and what? We were 14 up.
Yeah, 27-14 with 3 minutes left.
Yeah, that was terrible. That was so bad. It was not funny. There was nothing funny about that. I was lit up. Well, I was lit up about every loss, but some more than others.
Yeah, some hurt more than others.
Mm-hmm.
Especially
when we should have.
I just don't
You can
want
laugh
to see a
about it
repeat
now,
of
but
the last two seasons. I don't want to see a repeat of the last two seasons this season coming up.
Exactly, Mr. Polk. Exactly.
We got to get over that, huh?
Yeah, we do, Mr. Polk. That we've got to prove that we're not a team that falls off at the end of the year. When I did my way too early predictions, I had us, like you, Papa Paul, going all the way undefeated for the first 7 games, and then we lose to the Bills, and then it starts getting a little dicey. You know what I'm saying? Like we lose to the Bills, then we God dang it, I just had it. I don't know why page keeps freezing up. We lose to the Bills in week 9, I think that is. Yeah, that's week 9. And then we come back and follow it up with a win against the Seahawks. No,
that's the Rams right after the Bills.
Yeah, that's the Rams. We beat the Rams, then we lose against where am I at? Yeah, well, that Raiders game is kind of a toss-up. I picked us to drop that game. But that could be switched around with a win and a drop within those first 7 wins. We could have, the Cardinals sneak one.
You know what? I'm looking at the stuff, and I didn't pick us to. I picked us to beat the Rams. Actually, it was
I picked us to beat the Rams, but I said the Raiders is the toss-up game.
That game is more concerning.
That's the Christian Wilkins revenge game. That is going to be the local point.
I'm just also thinking about, the come down too. Mike McDaniel versus McVay, the Rams, they're going to be extra up. There's that always that slack game where the Dolphins it's the Raiders. They might not take them seriously. You know what I'm saying? They might. We've seen this happen. It's the I forget what they call it, but you kind of
trap game.
Trap game. Thank you for shot. Thank you. That I could see as a trap game.
Yep.
And then I have us beating the Patriots, losing the Packers. And then I have us beating the Jets, losing to the
Texans.
Texans.
Then you have the 49ers.
Yeah, the 49ers, I think we win that game. I think we beat the 49ers.
I actually think we're gonna lose. I think we're gonna lose against the Browns.
Well, that's what I have too. I have us losing against the Browns and then losing at the end of the year to the Jets. And I picked that because now look, if Rodgers ain't there, we win that game, and now we got 12 wins. If Rodgers is there, to me, just for and Winters, you touched on a little bit, talking about betting, talking about this, talking about talking about the other thing. I see that that's a must win in as a wild card team for the Jets, and they beat the Dolphins so they can have that whole gloriful moment. We're in the playoffs. Dolphins were fighting for number 1 seeding, and the Jets steal it from them, or.
And I want to reiterate just real quick. The only reason I believe we're going to beat the Colts is because it's after our bye week.
I agree with that. I then again, I wonder too is their quarterback Anthony Richardson has he figured it out? If he did they already kind of blow their wad with the plays that they've gotten that he's good enough with and beat a couple teams with? Now teams have figured it out. They have to broaden their playbook. Is it going to overwhelm him? They got a great run game, and it's going to be hard. But the Dolphins offense could put pressure on you to a team like that to say, hey, you could run all you want. We're just going to throw the ball and score in 8-play drives or something like that. You're going to need to, at some point, you're going to need to pass this football to catch up to the lead we put on you. And I see the Dolphins overtaking them in that game.
Well, I want to go over something. B. McD saying pressure up the middle is quarterback's worst enemy. Well, Brewer might be having the problems right now with the exchange, but what I've seen is he's been holding the middle tight.
I was really kind of I had mixed feelings on the Brewer signing. I knew we know we needed a center. We Poor Connor. God willing, he comes back and makes a second act to his career. But Brewer, smaller center. Not nothing to write home about. I figured if they were going to add I personally would have rather seen Liam Eichenberg at the start as the starting center. I thought that was a good home for him. I know he played a little bit better at guard, but I'm tired of having this guy move all the way around. I thought he should have got his shot to be center. And if they were going to sign a guy, it was to be fighting, pushing him for center duties and also potentially a guard. That's what I thought we should have done. Dolphins went a different direction and switch the roles, and that's on them. I'll tell you what, though, come week 1, week 2, we drop 1 or 2 of these games or drop some games in the, we shouldn't have because of snap issues. All I'm going to be thinking about is how right I was to make that they should have been having Liam and him working and moved in that direction, because I felt like they pulled the plug a little bit early a couple years back on Michael Dieter. And I said to myself, you know what? Maybe they're right. This Michael Dieter guy isn't a good center. Can't do nothing. Meanwhile, he goes with Houston, and he's their starting center, and they went all the way in the playoffs and made noise. So I feel like they're now Butch Berry. I love Butch Berry. I'm going to take him for whatever he says, right? He's not only is he the professional, but finally I feel like there's some stability within our depth and our scheme with these offensive linemen.
As John O'Hanlon says, we got to wait and see on that. But I want to answer Lewis's question here about Pete. The last time I saw Pete was on our show, but it was right before Tua got signed. I have not seen him since Tua got signed.
Yeah, I mean, that's interesting. I mean, that is very interesting.
Just so you guys know, he's been creeping. He's been creeping around.
I mean, he ain't got the creep, bro. Tell him to come out, man. Listen, man. Like, look, it's all good, bro. Like, come on, man. Like, what's wrong? You're gonna deal with Tua for the next 4 years contractually. That's just what it is, bro. Come on, man.
Hey, but El Capitan, remember I told y'all Friday what he was going to say, and I screenshotted exactly what he put on the. He was on
What?
Hey, what's up? Yeah,
say?
he was on the Sun Sentinel. He was on the Sun Sentinel. And what he
In the
posted on the
chat.
comment section, yeah, I predicted what he was gonna put in the chat.
Yeah, he was Shake a couple days ago, on Friday. He was saying, "Yo, I know what Pete's gonna say and how he's gonna react and what he'll put behind it." And of course, in the Sun Sentinel chat, he goes, "Show me the playoff win drought, or how about division titles? This is extremely embarrassing as a fan when all 31 other teams are laughing at us." That's what he's saying.
So
He's
31
pivoting
teams.
back. He's pivoting back to the other side.
The
He's a
dark
woe is
side.
me. Well, the Pete side.
There you go, Pat.
The Pete side.
Yeah, definitely the dark side. So,
And, can you drop the line? Can you drop the link for my man EM?
Yeah, drop the link for EM.
Who?
EM. Yeah, go ahead and drop the damn link.
So I wanted to ask you, El Capitan. So I was listening to your, who you thought we'd lose to. So, what do you think our record is then?
Our record will come out to 11 wins. So
I got 12.
now, will that be good enough for the division? I think so. I think we win the East. I don't think we win the AFC. I think the first team to 12 wins the AFC from now until further notice, right? Because there's so many good teams in the AFC. It's hard enough to get. I mean, there was a time in which you would have said, if you only got 9 wins, you're not getting into the playoffs in the AFC. Now I think the bottom is so raised up that 9 wins is getting you a wild card. There's going to be two teams minimum as a wild card with 9 wins. So, I
agree with you on the Raiders game. That is one game that I said probably, whenever the schedule first came out, I was like, that is a game to watch. That is a game we should be very afraid of. And most people were like, the Raiders, like, don't be ridiculous. But there is something about that game and the way the schedule is. And, what's the guy's name? The really good, big redheaded guy, the defense. What's his
Crosby?
Max Crosby. Oh my God.
That guy.
An animal.
And you get Christian Wilkins in there with that guy. I'm just telling you, that defense.
Whether that quarterback, what's his name? O'Connell? I don't even know that guy. Donald or something like that. Yeah.
I thought they had Carr.
Who's Christian Wilkins?
Carr ain't been there for like 3 years.
Yeah.
I'm like, look, all jokes aside, y'all. Listen, I mean, Christian Wilkins did what he did for us, and the man got paid. He got paid by the Raiders, and I'm going to be honest with you.
Now he sucks.
Our O-line has got to be on tip-top shape against any defensive front. It doesn't matter who's in front of us. The first test is the Jags. The Jags are not sweet, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not looking past the Jags. I'm not. Doug Peterson is a proven coach in this league.
Yep.
I've watched it.
Trevor Lawrence, hey, say what you want. Trevor Lawrence is a damn good quarterback. There's things you want for him, but the athleticism, the toughness, if those other things start clicking with him, again, he's still pretty damn good. I don't give a shit.
Sunshine is definitely a good quarterback, definitely. But I do think our defense is going to, tee off on him. I do feel like our defense will have a good game against him. But I never overlook the Jags, and you're right about the coach. Peterson is a great coach.
When we're talking about that Raiders game, again, I said the reason too, I think the Raiders are going to bring everything and then some, while the Dolphins are going to have that trap game letdown from all the adrenaline from playing against, Mike McDaniel's ex-coaching mate and everything like that. And on the same aspect for the Niners, a game in which I think if come that point in the season, that Niners win, there's going to be so much anticipation, so much stuff. And if the Dolphins win, it like clinches playoffs. Like something's going to else be riding on that game. And that's why the other two games beyond that, they kind of slip a little. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's going to be interesting. But listen, I got to run, Paul. Winners, I haven't even eaten supper or nothing.
Okay, yo, we appreciate you coming on the podcast, bro. You know you're welcome anytime, man.
You know it, man.
Peace, love, and fins up, brother.
I'll see you guys and Miss Pam, the lady of the room, and nice meeting you, Rashad. Hope to see you around sometimes when I go to the game. I'll look for you, buddy.
Yeah, definitely come by. I'm at section 130, 131. You stop by.
I've sat all over that bad boy. I'll come and find you, Dow.
There you go.
Player El Capitan.
Yeah, we're at 10:20 right now, Paul. How much longer do you want to go tonight?
No, I think we're gonna get a call.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna do this. Any last thoughts? We're gonna keep it to a minimum of like a couple minutes. Rashad?
Yeah, let's look forward to a great season. Look forward to being here, getting to know the others more often. I mean, I know you pretty well, so the other ones I want to get to know better, of course. Got another early morning rise and shine for camp tomorrow, so get back at it.
Nice to meet you.
What's happening, man? Shout out to Dolphin Nation 305 in the house with Mr. Polk and Rashad. Brother, I will see you soon, man. Appreciate you. Peace, love, fins up, family.
Okay, real quick, I want to thank everybody on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. Make sure if you haven't, go to YouTube, find us on YouTube, subscribe, like us, all that. Every bit of it helps. And just so everyone knows, we are at just shy of 2,400 subscribers on YouTube. So,
there you go.
Let's go.
Everyone, y'all have a wonderful week. And Prashad, look for me out there. I'll be there tomorrow.
I'll see you. Yes, I'll definitely go see you.
Peace, love, and fins up, everybody. Have a good night.
Have a good night.
Peace, love, fins up.